When everybody hates it, we think it's okay. When everybody likes it, we gotta complain. We're quite contrary.
She doesn't do that. She does this.
Huh? No.
She does the X Factor.
She's blocking bullets.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
So I need to be shooting you.
Yes.
Oh. Pew, pew, pew.
This is the dumbest. Warning. The following is intended for mature audiences. It includes references to the use of illicit substances as well as crude humor. Viewer discretion is advised. Thank you, and welcome to Quite Contrary, the only show that's mathematically designed to disagree with you. I'm Zach Nanimus.
Johnny Dim.
And today we are going to be talking about the box office smash hit Meteor Man. Wonder Woman! Today we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, it started off strong with a 97, and now it's down to a 93. Metacritic actually gives it about an 80%, so overall, very positive stuff. I would like to say that I did enjoy the movie.
In my personal opinion, I think a 90 is about right for it. We slightly disagree, but all around positive reviews.
Yes, but here's what sucked about it. Number one, the plot don't make no sense. So basically, this is going to be full of spoilers. We're going to be talking pretty extemporaneously about the whole thing. Nevertheless, the whole plot hinders on the idea that Wonder Woman, Diana of Themyscira, is going to have to leave Paradise Island in order to fight the great Ares, god of war, because a pilot named Steve Trevor, who is a spy for Britain, who is from America, has shown them the terrible face of war by accidentally leading some German boats to Themyscira. Some of the Amazonians die, and as a result, Diana's going to go out and she's going to save the day by not stopping the war, but by stopping all wars by killing Ares, the god of war.
As is the destiny of Amazonians.
Yes. Here's the problem, is that in the new backstory that they set up for her, they said that all of the gods except for Ares are dead. Now, if she believes that killing Ares will end all wars, then she should also be bewildered by the fact that there's lightning, because both Hephaestus and Zeus are dead. The point is that all of these aspects of the world that the gods are supposed to have control of still exist. And she believes that killing one god will take away that aspect of the world, take away the aspect of war, but that isn't true in any of her other experiences. They still have harvest. They still feel love. They still seek knowledge. There are gods for all of these things. What I'm saying is that if all those other gods are dead, then these other aspects of the world shouldn't exist either by their logic. But what I'm saying here is that if their plan was going to work, they would already know, because the absence of these gods would have meant something to their lives, and it just didn't.
So what would have been a better plot?
I was thinking that maybe they should explore the idea that Steve Trevor is actually a delusion of a comatose Kirk after being killed by radiation poisoning in Into Darkness.
Well, that's neat.
Number two.
You gotta deflect the bullets. Can we get ricocheting sounds?
Number two. Where did the books come from?
What books, Johnny?
The books that
The comic books?
Diana talks about. No,
they came from our friends at Diamond Publishings.
So Diana talks about sex books. I'm not making this up. She talks about how men are not needed for pleasure, but they're pretty good for creating
creating Pokemon. You draw a little Pikachu, you draw a Ditto, you draw a Mr. Mime.
Wait, Ditto?
Yeah.
I really thought you were gonna say Dicko.
Why?
I don't know. So Diana talks about the books that are on Themyscira. Thin mascara. And so she's
called Purse Island.
So Diana's talking about these books, and the thing is, she knows every language on Earth.
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
She describes hundreds of languages that she understands.
Ancient and modern languages.
Of which there are about 1,400 dialects.
Some of which don't make sense that she would know, and there is no way to explain it because if they have books, right, they are not modern books. There's absolutely no way. They're cut off from the rest of the world. Who's bringing them those books? Where's the library? Where's the librarian? These are questions that need to be answered.
I think I know where they're getting the books from, Johnny.
Where?
Amazon Prime.
Zach, you need to apologize right now.
Huh? Number 3. Where did her costume come from? So why this is a big gripe for me is honestly because Wonder Woman started off with a super silly costume. It was a red bustier and star-spangled granny panties.
All right.
Well, actually, initially it was a skirt, but they couldn't have her in a skirt, so whenever she would do a high kick, it would like magically in that frame become shorts, you know? So it's always been really silly. The character was introduced in 1941. She was obviously just trying to sell war bonds, you know, and appeal to a very patriotic audience at the time. But subsequently, writers have gone out of their way to explain why she wears such an American-styled suit, why she's red, gold, and blue, and all that bit. And I thought that in the movie version, they could have taken the time to actually add a little bit of mythos to it. And this thing is completely mulled over in the movie. She basically goes through, when she's equipping herself as Wonder Woman, like she's going through and everything else is explained. She grabs the magic lasso of truth. She grabs the God-slaying sword. And then she just kind of sees some lingerie and is like, oh, I'll take that too, even though I've never trained in it and have no idea what it is or what its powers are. And I just thought that they could have put a little bit more time and consideration into something that has been a point of contention for a lot of fans anyway.
I think they could have explained it just by saying she's a klepto. Actually, what I think the most offensive thing about this whole costume bit is that it looks very much like traditional men's underwear.
How so?
It just does. I mean, I'm wearing stuff like that under this.
Why do you wear all that under your clothes, Johnny?
Because it hides my nipples when I'm wearing a sheer sweater.
Now, I hope you've been enjoying the video up to this point, but before we get to number 4, it's time for Johnny's world famous promotions. Johnny.
Yes. Things we are promoting today. Number 1 is Camp Gladiator. Camp Gladiator is a great way to get in shape. It does wonders for me and my body. So go check out campgladiator.com. There you'll see the different camps and where they are located. They got some in Florida. They got some in all across Texas. Just some other places. Go check it out.
Also, I'd like to share a personal story. It was actually about 2 weeks ago that Captain Jay and I actually adopted a new cat named Kitty Pride.
Kitty Pride!
From our local SPCA. So I would like to drop the name of one of our favorite rescue societies, and that is the Acadiana Humane Society. And if you don't live near Acadiana, that's okay. We just want to spread the message, adopt, don't buy. And with that, number 4, tone. This is probably my biggest gripe with the movie, and it's that the movie seems to be trying to straddle 2 different, I shouldn't say straddle while she's wearing a skirt. In this movie, they appear to be trying to strike 2 very particular tones at the same time. They seem to not be able to decide if they're going to make sort of hard-hitting historical fiction, a la Band of Brothers, something like that, or if they're going to do, you know, high-flying superhero fantasy. There are so many moments in this movie that are trying so hard to get you to feel the grit of war, but then they're completely deflated by some of the amazing Amazonian kung fu action and little quips from Ms. Candy in other scenes. They don't seem to know where this is going.
They don't, and there's 2 very different things going on. And I think the first thing I said, because I saw the movie twice now, because I kind of slept through it the first time, not the movie's fault. I was just very tired and maybe had a few. So on the second viewing, the first thing I told you was like, the only real gripe I have is that it's not more rated R.
Right.
And if it was...
Which was your gripe about Labyrinth.
Every movie should be rated R. But no, I really think this could have been a very serious, because World War I, although they touch on it a little bit, you see one guy that has missing part of a leg, but World War I was gruesome. It was dirty. It was hard to get through, and it was. I thought they could have done well to actually show really what Wonder Woman's doing. She's a superhero, and I know traditionally, especially since they're kids' properties usually, they do well like in Star Wars where they hide the blood. They hide the fact that you're brutally murdering people.
Yep.
And I think this movie could have been very different and improved by just a harder, grittier movie. And I think it would be consistent with the movies they're doing with the DC properties right now, because it's dark and gritty. And I think because this is the lightest one so far, but
Yes.
like you said, it plays both sides.
It's the lightest one so far, and it's also the most well received so far.
That's true.
Which is my point, that it's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
It's the chick in the star-spangled tights fighting in American wars with a sword and shield. It's, it's supposed to be a little lighter. It's supposed to be fun. It's about this powerful woman taking charge. And I think from a cultural perspective, it's important that they did have a wider audience so that we can have these heroes not only for men or boys to watch and broaden their horizons and see how many different forms a hero can take, but also it's important for a lot of little girls to see an empowered woman on the screen.
I do agree with that. And I think the only way to solve this was to have done two different versions.
Oh, God. He wants the King's speech. I would love to see a rated R version next to a PG-13 or PG-1 in the theaters at the same time. Yes.
I think that's the only way to appease everybody. And so this is the problem, right? So they want to appeal to everybody. And in doing so, we get a movie that's not completely in one camp.
I've said this 1,000 times if you followed our podcast. It was C.S. Lewis that said, a children's story that cannot be enjoyed by adults is not a good story in the least.
What I'm saying is, it's not necessarily true that I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I thought that's just the only way I could have enjoyed it more was if it went into a rated R thing.
That's because you're a psychopath.
Yeah, a little bit.
Here's my take on it. I think maybe the execution wasn't exactly perfect. I think it's possible to have Band of Brothers and Wonder Woman.
All right. Well, let's try it.
Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. All the world is waiting for you and the power you possess. In your sandal tights, fighting for your rights.
And that's our show, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do want to remind everybody that if you did like this video, go ahead and give it a like down below. And if you'd like to see more content from us, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell right next to it so you get all our future updates.
And always.
And always.
As always.
And.
We love our patrons. You guys are the best. Thank you very much. And if you're curious about what a patron is and what a Patreon thing is, there's going to be a link at the end of the videos. Check that out.
Okay. And with that, I would like to end the proceedings by eating fruit snacks in silence.